Hey guys, you guys said on my last rank video, my last survivor rank, that you wanted more. And I don't know why, because I literally got demoted, but sure, I'll give you guys what you want. Here's your survivor rank that many of you told me to do. I can play most of the characters in this game. I don't really have a set main, if you will, but I guess the characters that I am most proficient with would be like Perfumer and stuff like that. Entomologist. Kind of those guys. Where's my lip balm? Oh, it's all the way over there. Let me grab it. Perfect. Oh, wait! That's kind of cute. I got a little bee. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm applying lip balm. I've got a little bee that's kind of cute. I don't know in what order I'm gonna upload these, but I made my Undertale upload, I then did some Joseph gameplay, I then did Mary match, and then now we are in Survivor. I don't know if I'm gonna upload it in that, in that order, but that's what we got. Oh. Okay. She's gonna probably transition over here, so I'm gonna take this cipher here. Is my thoughts behind running so far away. And it's blocked, and someone probably spawned over there. Wait, they're bonded? Guys, I have a feeling this is a loss already. Cause, follow me here. Mechanic has no bot left, I just watched the other one die. Little girl's leached to her with 5 ciphers, now she's downed. This entire time we've had 2 people decoding. I had to move away from my cipher because she transitioned into my cipher and then transitioned out again, but in the other side. She's now harassing this other individual down there, who I think's a perfumer. Little girl's going for the rescue. This is gonna be a loss, because we just don't have the cipher progress, because now there's only 1 person decoding. Why are they leached again? They should heal. Unless they can't, because I can see Perfumer's ciphers being worked on, so she must have gone back. Yeah, this is gonna be a loss, for sure. Because she's now gonna chair on Perfumer's cipher, who she's already harassed earlier, therefore there's not gonna be enough progress on that to get it done. Which is gonna force Perfumer out of that area, or it's gonna force her to immediately rescue, which is going to get Mechanic eliminated faster. And yeah, little girl hasn't decoded at all yet. Now she's touching a cipher, but it's not good enough. That all of those actions have costed us, because we're gonna have an elimination of 4 ciphers. And we're only gonna have, there might be half, maybe over there. Perfumer needed to go rescue, she just sold the Mechanic. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. Yeah, Perfumer needed to go rescue there. Yeah, that's probably half a cipher over there. That's probably 20, 30-ish over there. We just don't, there's 4 ciphers remaining, 3 people in the game. We don't have the people or the progress to catch this up. It's going to be a loss. And all of the ciphers, you gotta remember where they are as well. So she just got down there, cipher's done there, my cipher's done there. Cipher has a little bit of progress here, but the last ciphers are along this entire side of the map. They're all on one side of the map, pretty much. So that's bad against the Geisha, who can camp that really easily. We're gonna lose. Especially if Perfumer's unwilling to let go of that cipher. And the reason I don't want to go is because the hunter is by me. Not on me, but certainly by me. And yeah, it doesn't look like Perfumer is able to commit to the rescue. Or she's gonna get stuffed out early. Maybe. Maybe. Or the other thing that can happen is she get pressured into a tower shell. I can see all of those happening. She's not close enough to the chair right now. But that's gonna be a dash and down. There we go. Alright. I have a couple options. None of them are good because this game is mildly in my favor. No. No. She still has blink, remember? There we are. And that's how we lost the match really fast. I know I talked through the whole thing about why we lost, but I'm just gonna summarize again for everyone. Leeching at 5 ciphers, 2 body blocks at 5 ciphers, and then still dying at 5 ciphers. Perfumer selling the mechanic on her final chair. The cipher pressure from the Geisha and the other guys not knowing how to deal with that by means of, rotating out of the area. These guys not having clear kiting paths, meaning that instead of running to, like, the area that I cleared out of at the start, they ran the other way, which is some of the weakest kiting areas of the entire map. There's a lot of things I could say, and some of the things I would say is, if you are playing a weak kite character like Mechanic, you have the right to be greedy over where you want to kite. At 5 ciphers, it doesn't matter. Kick them off their cipher. If it means that you get Shack or the strong walls area that I cleared out of, I would rather you do that if it means that you can actually kite more than, 60 seconds, than if I'm just decoding still in Shack and you go the other way and die in 20, Because in this game, as Survivor, solo or, multiple queue, buying time is the most important thing you can do. If your teammates don't have the time to decode, because as I mentioned, people are constantly having to move around, people are constantly having to, go rescue and stuff. Those are all time wasters, and I would prefer that, she did take the walls area, because then she could actually have a chance against the Geisha, because there is a ton of walls. That is Geisha's disadvantage. It's her strongest disadvantage. Take advantage of that. Even if I did go to the cipher in the walls, Mechanic should have still come over and kicked me off of it. That's her right to. And that would be true for a lot of other survivors as well. Even if it was the Perfumer kiting, I still would have allowed her to have that area, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people should do anyway. And even if it's a little bit extra walking distance for me, if the time you're going to use that area can make you live longer than the time it takes me to walk to another area, that's all that matters. Shack is quite good against Geisha too, mind you. She can dash, but you can mind game that a lot and trick her, but the mechanic going back down to the other side of the map, which is, as I said, the weakest area in the whole map, that was not a good kiting route, that was not efficient. And as I said, doing all of that with the little girl bonded to her was not good either, because as I said during the game, we only have 2 people decoding now. So if all of that makes sense, that was all of the earliest things to go wrong, and then the following things would have been, even with Little Girl's help, even with both her bots, she still didn't last very long. I don't know if she had Flywheel or not. I wasn't paying attention. But if she had, like, windows, the walls still should have been the area that she would have gone to, because out in the open against the Geisha will never ever work out. The more walls you have, the more secure of an area you have, the better you are. What else? The rescues. Yeah, Perfumer getting forced off her cipher. She either should have gone for the rescue, even though it would have been early, because it would have allowed the Geisha to be forced to have to now chase the mechanic again anyway, if that makes sense. And it would have meant that the little girl then could have kept decoding instead of coming to do another rescue, you know? I don't know how far away she was from the chair, but if this is the chair I'm presuming, which is right in front of the gate, with the Euphoria speed boost and with a little bit of mind gaming, she definitely could have made that without getting stuffed. And yeah, as I said, Little Girl could have kept decoding and we would have had more decoding on the team overall, but we didn't get to have that because Little Girl came for the rescue instead, and then Perfumer went back to a cipher because Geisha left to go chase them, but again, they leech together again, and this is such a crucial thing. Because we were already in a bad position, but it solidified the loss that the little girl did not then, go and decode or something. A normal body block would have sufficed. But even then, I would be hesitant to body block in this situation because the mechanic's first kite, even with all that support, was already so abysmal. And I mean that very honestly. That's not meant to be insulting, but you know what I mean to say, like, it wasn't a reliable thing to count on, and that's why I say abysmal. But I just think all of these things in place then, if we had the little girl decoding instead of, bonding the whole match, if the mechanic could have also died far away in a corner, like on the chair that I was by at the end of the game where Dungeon was, that would have been very helpful and advantageous for our team since Perfume was decoding in the other corner of the map and I was decoding in the complete other corner of the map. It meant that her next chase target would have had to be somewhere she would have had to travel to. And I know Geisha has, her dashes and she can be quick, but that's a couple of seconds that could have been bought as well. But it didn't look like that to me. It looked like Mechanic kind of died toward the center of the map, if you will, or maybe center side. And that's another bad thing. And then, of course, Little Girl came into pursuit. The really late and rescue and then stuff from the Perfumer, again, she wasn't able to commit herself to the rescues, so that's why that happened. And it's something that if she had just gone straight in for it, she probably would have been fine, but I think she doubted herself and it cost us any chance of rebound. And there's an argument to be made, well, you could have gone for the rescue, Max. Yeah, that's true, but Perfumer was closer, one, and two, she's a perfumer, she has perfumes. Why would I go for the rescue? Entomologist is not a strong character against Geisha, not a particularly fast one against Geisha. If I recall, you can't even cancel her dash. The only thing you can do is when she's dashing through the bees, it slows down a little bit, but then it speeds back up as soon as she's out of the bees anyway, if that makes sense. So unless you're, I don't know, placed your bees in a really inconvenient spot, it's not really going to do anything. She can still dash through them. It's one of those things I really feel like, that first kite, second kite, and then quick death, and then the rescues as well on the team were not good. We did unfortunately let the Geisha, as I said, pressure the ciphers. We should have, if we were going to die as fast as that, we should have tried to stay as far away from the ciphers as possible. But it's not fair as well to blame everything on them. I had my own fault as well. the dungeon escape was not perfect. I knew the blink was coming. I knew the blink would come. I predicted that. It's unfortunate I don't have flywheel. I can't actually do anything against that as entomologist, really. It's just gonna happen. And I kind of accepted it at that point. Could I have baited the vault? I guess, but she'd already hit me if I remember, so it wouldn't have done anything either way. Like, that was just, going to happen. It didn't matter at all. And there was still a huge amount of time, even if I did bait the vault, that dungeon had left. So it wouldn't have even mattered either way. I wasn't getting that. Because even if she didn't hit me and I still managed, all she has to do is stand on it. And that would be it. There's nothing I can do. Even if dungeon then swapped areas, there's still nothing I can do. Because I'm a Windows entomologist and all she has to do is dash to me. And that area is so empty. This is why I wish Mechanic would have died in it. That area is so empty that even if dungeon swap location, I don't think I would have been able to transition to the new location anyway. So nothing I'd done there would have changed anything or mattered on that front. But was there things that I could have done to make my chances better? Probably. I probably shouldn't have hid so close to the dungeon. I probably should have been, out to the side or something, or I don't know. I probably should have, remained a decent distance away so she would be forced to hit me, but the issue is she would just walk out, hit me, and then dash anyway, is my presumption. So there's not a huge amount I could have done. The other thing I could have done, I guess, was if I got rid of my bees, which takes a long time, by the way, as entomologists. I don't think you guys know how long that is. But then I went through a chest. The issue is, the crows on the map would have gave me away. The time it would take me to deplete all of my bees and then go in a chest, I would get the crows. So it's a combination of a lot of factors, especially I would have gotten the crows because I was the last survivor remaining, pretty much. So it was a lot of bad play from everyone on that team, but there are definitely points where I need to sit down and say, hey, all of this happened really bad. Please don't do this. And these are all of the reasons why, and I hope it makes sense to everyone. If there's anything else you guys notice, please let me know, because these are just the things that occurred to me immediately as I was playing, and also occurred to me after now, as a post-match reflection. And I'm not entirely surprised the match turned out like that. It is low tier. But I also want to turn this into, like, a lesson, if you will, on, how oh my god, Lumi's in chat. Wow, hi Lumi. I wanted to turn this into a lesson on game sense, and I hope that all of this translates well. I didn't expect this to be so long. I'm gonna leave now before I talk everyone into boredom. But thank you so much for joining me again, you guys, for another IDV video. Goodbye!